fell.
My message is simple. Do not let this great country become the United Kingdom. Do not allow America to fall as Europe has fallen. Look at us. Let us be a warning. Be better than us. I've watched my country fall apart, and I want to warn others before they let their country do the same. And believe me, I love my country. I'm not quick to talk it down. I was sponsored through university by the Intelligence Corps. I passed out of the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst, to serve my country as an army officer. We went in as a troop of 32 girls. We came out as 8, more or less, men. Oh yeah, it's still there, but doesn't work that much. And I wanted to become the first female general. My epilepsy put paid to that. It's why I have short hair too, actually. But it brought me to the media, and so my fight goes on, and this fight is real. The UK today is a place few of us recognise. I get letters and emails, really upsetting ones, from 60 and 70-year-olds struggling to make sense of the country they love. Like my mum and dad, they ask me, has the world gone mad? How is this all going to end up? Where does this stop? Some of them email me to say that they're glad they're old because they will be gone soon. And they won't have to wait for the time they see their country fall. These are hard messages to read, and they're really hard messages to respond to. And believe me, I am wary of painting too depressing a picture. I have not come here to be part of the fear. I have not come here to talk my country down or to fail to see the good in Britain. But there are some blunt truths I believe it is my duty to tell. You are more likely to be raped in London than in New York. You are more likely to be attacked with acid from a guy on a moped in East London than in Islamabad. And when it comes to terror, the head of the UK MI5 said the risk is now impossible to contain or to control. Serving police officers in Muslim-controlled areas of the UK email me and allege that the local imam at the mosque is in charge of selecting the police officers he will allow to police his neighbourhood. In a relentless programme of appeasement by the establishment, they continually seem to put the lives of jihadi and the Muslim mafia ahead of the lives of our own daughters. And in the latest recruitment round for the police, white British males were excluded from the day's coaching in how to pass the recruitment day. If you were white and male, you could not go. If you were gay or ethnic or black or any other minority, then you could apply. And I have nothing against those people. But in the UK, discrimination against whites is institutionalised and systemic. I applied for a place for my husband just to see if he could get through. He's a male, vaguely, and he's white, and they said no. But without a minority card to play or a race card, you have no grounds for redress anymore in our country. The UK is now formed of two distinct territories. There is Londonistan and there is the rest of the UK. London and the rest of the UK. If you took Britain and spun it on its side, it is very much a baby America. London is Clinton. London is California, the bad bits, and all the good bits I see are here today. London is Bill de Blasio's New York, and he's an utter cockwomble if ever I met one. I wrote all this, in a column on Mail Online. I write for dailymail.com, and I went on Tucker Carlson. He did his best confused face. And I'm like, Tucker, quit that. Tucker, you're my mate. You do not have to put on a confused face just because we're on telly. And for the crime of this column, which was a précis of what I just said, I was reported to the British Metropolitan Police for hate crime and inciting violence against Muslims. We can reject the narrative. 2, we can commit to arm ourselves, not just with the help of the NRA. Sadly, in the UK, we don't have that luxury of the Second Amendment. Our police on our streets are armed with the equivalents of a Clorox spray and a Band-Aid. Some even have a letter from their mum excusing them from games. But we can arm ourselves with information that we find closest to the source, not information fed through the liberal filters of Google or the Californian Fruit Loops at Facebook. We must look for our own truths. I spent 48 hours in the migrant camp at Calais in France. It's called the Jungle, quite appropriate, it seems to me, where African migrants masquerading as children and asylum seekers fought their way through tear gas and steel fencing to break into the trucks crossing over from France to Dover to sneak into the UK. My photographer was lynched, his camera was stolen, his wallet taken, he was beaten up, and he went home because he was badly beaten, actually. I had my arm dislocated. They came for us with steel bars. We were put in the back of a van and taken out of the camp to safety. I went back in the next day. I was told to cover up by the charity workers there, the do-gooders, the Democrats, those types, you know. They told me to cover up my shoulders because it was offensive to the Muslim men. So I stripped off. They didn't like my tiny tits much better either. I met a lady with a little boy, and I was trying to find this quieter story, you know, real women, real problems. And her little boy, it was the first child I'd seen in camp, and she invited me into her little caravan thing. And it turned out her little boy was in fact a little girl, except she dressed him as a boy so that at night the migrant men wouldn't come and try and steal him from her. And I learned a big lesson as well. I was naive. Migrants don't come for a new life and leave their old life behind. They bring them with them. All the old conflicts from back home. The Eritreans hate the Somalis, who hate the Afghanis, who don't speak to the Libyans, and they're still fighting. They come, they do not start a new life, they bring the conflicts from back home. And then finally, the third arm of this thing is that we have to have the moral courage to fight. We have to somehow find the strength to withstand the constant attacks that we face. And Trump is the Jedi Master at this game. I love him. We know what it's like to be ostracized by friends who don't like our opinions. People can be unkind, the media can be merciless, but we all need to find the moral courage to stand strong. You know, I have battles of my own, of course. I have Mrs. who see in my head as a prize. I've got the pocket-sized Muslim mayor of Londonistan, who's about as useful as a chocolate teapot. There is a ruder version which involves a penis-flavoured lollipop, but I thought that wasn't correct for today. I have a Muslim mayor that I cannot stand. He spent £1.7 million on an online hate police force to police my Twitter feed. I've been arrested for my writing. I was interviewed under caution by the Major Crime and Homicide Command for a column in a newspaper, and I was referred to the Crown Prosecution Service for my commentary on life because a complaint was made by the Society for Black Lawyers. I look forward to meeting the Society for White Lawyers one day. And my family are reported to social services on a fairly regular basis. People hope that they can take my children from me, and that will silence me. The last time social services rang and said they'd had a complaint, I said, but my children are at home, and my husband just made them a prawn salad, because prawns are quite posh in my family. And the guy was like, that doesn't really help. No, it doesn't. And vexatious litigation, of course, is never far from my door. But I'm not complaining. There is no self-pity. I've put myself out there. I have to suck it up. If I don't like it, I can get home, sit on my sofa, shut up, and become a vegan. And that is not going to happen. But resistance is key, and when we come under attack, we need to make like an arrowhead and feel the criticism falling from your sides. You know, I get a lot of emails from 16, 17-year-olds who feel like they have no voice in school anymore. They can't say if they're a Brexit supporter or if they're one of the members of Gays for Trump. They can't speak out. And I say to them, make like you're diving into a swimming pool. Feel the water coming off your sides. Feel that, imagine that's the criticism falling off you, and keep moving forward. We can keep moving forward. The liberals who reject Brexit or try to discredit Trump, they gave birth to our determination to succeed. They are Frankenstein, and we are their monster, and we are big, and we are bad, and we are coming for them. They are right to be afraid. We can do this. Yes, we can. If only I was black, that would work so much better. We can commit to refuse the narrative. We can commit to arm ourselves with our truth, with no liberal filter. And we can commit to have the moral courage under attack to keep moving forward. This is our time. Do not become like Britain. Get furious and fight back.
Wow, Miss Katie Hopkins, that was brilliant. Absolutely spot on. We appreciate you. We appreciate your personality, your humor, and your seriousness.
Do not allow America to fall as Europe has fallen. Look at us. Let us be a warning. Be better than us.